Hello, I'm Karen Jefford, and this is a 7+1 framework series. Step 1 is about your purpose, your identity, your mission and voice. And this is where everything starts, because most charities don't have a purpose problem, but they do have a consistency problem. And I see organizations where everyone really cares about the mission, but they're all describing it slightly differently. And that creates friction and mixed messages. You're repeating yourself, the team are second guessing, and decisions don't always fully align. If I spoke to 3 people in your organization, do you think I'd hear the same thing? Alessandro, from your perspective, what happens when clarity isn't always shared across the team? You know, what's the purpose of that?
Okay, let's think about how do you define, for example, purpose? Because many times a definition of a purpose for me could be different compared to you if we are in the same team. So we want to make sure that if I need to build a clarity, we have the same definition of purpose. So purpose is something not something good to have. Is for me like an organization North Star. So if I need to share, for example, my purpose, I can say that I help founder-led businesses stop wasting marketing spend by aligning growth decisions with real buyer behavior. So the clarity of my purpose and the sharing what I define as the purpose of, for example, our organization, our charity, is really important. However, many times what I notice is that people don't think about growth as action plus reflection. So we act, and we need to act, as I said, as having a purpose, a shared purpose, a purpose that everyone in the team is clear what's the purpose, but we also need to reflect. So what do I mean by reflection? Many people, there are people that they act, not everyone act. They much prefer to wait for the right time. But for the people that they act, mostly of them, 90%, I think they don't reflect. Reflection for me, and this is going to create much more clarity, what's the purpose, is thinking that purpose evolves as we receive input from interaction with other stakeholders. Whether stakeholder could be someone within your team, maybe someone that want to invest into your organization, into your charity, or everyone that interact with you. So this means that we need to see the purpose as something that evolve over time. Like a baby that we need to nurture, we can't defend the baby and forget about him or her. So purpose also shapes the charity's culture, and the culture in turn shapes the purpose. This happens because this is influenced by what I call idiosyncrasies of each team member. You have your unique experience, your unique perspective, and consistently tuning of the instrument, in this case the instrument is the purpose, allowed us to have much more clarity and make sure that everyone within the same charity, even like people outside of the charity, but they fit into like the charity mission, are clear in terms of the purpose. It's like tuning the instrument and making sure that every time that we get an input from another person, that we have an interaction, we can refine our purpose. Do you feel exactly the same, Karen? I use maybe a lot of different analogies based on my experience. What is your experience about the clarity and the purpose?
I love those analogies. You know, we weave those throughout the whole 7 steps. We give real, true, live examples, and almost we could talk about the 3 C's, Alessandro. There are 3 things that I just took away from your conversation then, or, you know, answering the question. It's clarity, it's culture. Well, it's getting clear on your culture, and it's getting clear so that you provide clarity. And I think that's exactly what this step is all about. It's creating that clear message in a way of expressing who you are, So the team, everyone plays a part, so that the whole team feel confident and consistent on the identity, the mission, and the voice.
Do you see also that the culture within the organization, because sometimes we think about like just people, but the clarity in our mind is also the clarity in the mind of the other person. And the way that we transmit the clarity is also influenced like the environment. Do you see like this, I call like the yin and yang, where my clarity in terms of what's the purpose within my organization, within my charity, is also influence other people. Other people, the clarity of other people, the clarity of maybe the CEO is going to influence my clarity. Do you also see like these two working together?
I think that's an interesting point because, you know, a whole team is made up of lots of different personalities and they all may have a different agendas. But I think at the heart of everything, you know, the mission, you know, and that goal needs to be very clear. So everybody might bring a little bit of their personality, and actually that's a good thing because charities need to be agile and they need to do that fine tuning. Yes, you know, you refer to a musical instrument and refining it. So yeah, I mean, different things come into the mix, but the consistency of that message and what you're looking to achieve, that goal, that you know, that North Star needs to be the mission for everybody, but actually the personalities can add and build depth and support the growth, really.
Absolutely. And consistency, I always share, consistency and persistence are the two out of the three elements for any kind of organization. It's not something that you build the purpose, you build something like clarity, and then you forget about them. It's the consistency and the compound effect that every time that we have an interaction, every time that we refine like the musical instrument, the more we refine across the 12 months of 1 year, the more we create something that resonates also with other people.
So to bring this step to a close, step one is really about, to summarize, creating a clear shared way of expressing who you are, making sure that your identity, mission and voice are all aligned.